Subscribe to my channel. This is the new or remix. Don't forget to hit the like and sub. This is your boy Turk Vincent on the mic. Gotta subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow my stream, send me some bits and send me some subs on my Twitch and my YouTube. I'll put the dollar in the bank that you give me, so I can use it for some good gifties. This is a gaming channel. This is the Turk Vincent Valentine, boy! What's up, my archfiends of chaos? This is come back to the brand new video. This is none other than King of the Night, Vincent Valentine EX Turk, and I'm here to warn you the dangers and the dark side of Twitch. For people who don't understand, as a streamer, now I'm not a full-time streamer by any means, but I do want to know what people to know who want to become big streamers, to know that there is a dark side of streaming. And what I mean by a dark side of streaming is that there's things you need to know about, because I mean, I've been watching pretty videos of this. Now, this hasn't affected me because I'm not a full-time streamer. I have not had to sacrifice nothing to stream. But streaming will get you not only tired and stressed out, and stuff like that, but there are things you do need to know about Twitch. So I'm going to list all the dark side things of Twitch. The community. Now, because teenagers are allowed to use Twitch and access, and they're the ones who mostly watch all the streamers, all the popular streamers, most of them are toxic people. Most of them will get, if you have a disability or you're depressed or you have anxiety, they will pretty much set their eyes on wrecking your life and destroying it for their own amusement, which is very sick and disturbing. And it goes bad for guys. But the guys don't get it as rough as the girls do. Dear females who want to stream, and I'm not just talking about people who want to become e-girls. I'm talking about even legitimate female streamers. Just know that you might enter a horribly toxic, sexist, oppressive community that will come and mess with you 24/7. And what you gotta do is ignore that stuff. But there are people who take it too far, dox people, put their information out there. It has been done before, just to trigger people for their own sick amusement, which is very gross and disgusting. And as the leader of my community, I get disgusted when people do that. I get disgusted when I see anyone that's part of my community, let alone anyone else's community, go and trigger people and cause problems like that. Now, this is why I said this is where you get to the dark side, because most people who do this, now they can't get you by YouTube videos anymore, because you could just, held comments for reviews and stuff like that. So they'll go on your stream, since you really can't censor everybody. They'll go on there and make you feel like a horrible person, get you depressed, make you have anxiety for their sick amusement. And when that happens, you just gotta remember that's exactly why they're there. Which, not every community is like that, but there are always gonna be a few people in every community that's just horrible people. That's just people who live their whole entire basis around upsetting people. Now, the other thing is, you will get addicted, is the addiction. The other dark side of Twitch is the addiction. The addictions, when you get to a lot of... Now, you're not going to get a bunch of viewers all the time. Not everybody makes it. It's just like with being a SoundCloud rapper. It's just like being a musician. It's just like being an actor or everything else. You're not going to always make it. So don't depend on that for your income. Keep your jobs. Keep working. Do not depend on streaming as the only source of income. And I know a certain streamer, a big streamer, who pretty much kind of made me famous, who has quit his printing company, that he's working for, just to stream more. Which, do not make the mistake of that. I'm sorry for putting you out there, but I gotta teach people a lesson. Do not quit your day job to stream. I've seen this too many times. and then they're not able to stream because they can't pay the streaming bills. Not to mention, there's people who lose friends, families, loved ones, girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever you have. There's even people who also lose their religion over streaming because, you know, it becomes an addiction. It becomes a higher part of your life because there's a psychological part in your mind. There's a psychological part of your mind that pretty much likes it when you get the attention, positive or negative. And this is where I'm going to get to the next point after being addiction. You get a hormone. It's called serotonin. And serotonin is the hormone that you get when you're doing something that makes you feel good. And just like J-O-ing, since that's what we use, J-O-ing or masturbation, you get a sense of high with it, even though it's only a small bit of high. You do got to warn yourself of the addiction. When you stop, when you get to the point where you wake up every day and you're on here all the time, you quit your job, you stop hanging out with your friends, you stop having a social life, then yeah, you're gonna be stressed out because you need those things to survive. You know, there's these people who skip meals and everything for streaming, and that's just where the danger is. You know, and when you're at your weakest, the toxic community is gonna attack you while you're at your weakest point. You know, so you don't ever get to the point where streaming becomes your entire life. Do something else alongside of it, or make streaming only a base hobby. And don't always pay money into streaming. And if you're going to get into PC gaming and stuff like that, to stream better and stuff like that, to get more views, make sure you absolutely know in your heart and in your soul that you're going to make it. Because I've seen people who spent billions of dollars on only the PC itself, but the softwares to get emotes and everything in there, and they spend like over $1 million all the way to do it, then they never make it, so they get depressed. They can't, you know, they lost their job, their friends, their livelihood, and everything they care about just to try and stream. Don't do that. Make sure you absolutely know in your heart that you're going to make it big. If you're not going to make it big, do not invest that much money. Invest how much you can actually do on a daily basis, and be realistic about your stream goals. It's just like bodybuilding. You cannot pick up or lift anything that is above your max set. Well, it's the same thing with streaming. You cannot stream because streaming, believe it or not, if you don't know this, streaming actually zaps stamina. That's why I get tired after I stream. It actually zaps stamina because you're dealing with a toxic community. You have to stay focused on the game, stay focused on the conversations, stay focused on keeping your viewers. You know, you're focusing on hundreds of different things, everything. You know, what you wear, what music you're gonna put on your stream playlist, and everything. And you know, when you do that, it becomes like a full-time job. Except you don't get paid for the first time, and don't expect to get paid. Just because you make affiliate does not mean you're going to be the greatest streamer ever. Just because you make it to affiliate. Especially now. Anyone can make it to affiliate if they stream long enough. And if they got enough consistent viewers. And if you break the TOS, you're going to always lose that. Now, the next point is it became a dark environment because if you look at all the popular streamers, stuff like Ice Poseidon, you know, Ice Poseidon, Brandon Hampton, and the only good streamer I see now is Ninja. You know, but nonetheless, you know, they're all the way to get famous super quick nowadays is not the game. So even if you put so many hours in Fortnite, Overwatch, or whatever game you put in, it's not always guaranteed views unless you're super good. And only if you're super good. So there's a quick way to be a famous streamer, and that's to be the most offensive as possible, because these teenagers go like, "Bro, you're savage!" They want a character that has someone who's not only anti-political correctness, which could go into its own category. But pretty much, they want someone who's uberly offensive. That's why Ice Poseidon, Brandon Hampton are big streamers. Yes, it's a quick way to get fame, but you'll end up being the most hated human being on the planet being like that, because if you're purposely offensive, then you're going out there to be purposely offensive, purposely trying to cause problems and trigger people. You ain't gonna have very many friends, and then you know what? One day you're gonna end up losing your followers, because then you're gonna run out of people to trigger. Then you have to trigger your own followers by trolling them, and they're gonna leave slowly as it is. So the easy way to get to being a big streamer is to be as offensive as possible. If you're not an e-girl, and the only reason why people like e-girls is because teenagers can't watch porn because their parents block, sites like Pornhub and stuff on their computers, so they get material through watching these Twitch girls with their butts hanging out, with spaghetti strap tank tops with their boobs showing out. Which gets to my next point, is for the girls. The girls don't realize when they become e-girls that it's actually kind of like trafficking. It's kind of like trafficking. I know this is probably going to get people to be offended at me for saying this, but if you really think about it, it is. You're only going to be used as an object to these, what you call, viewers. They don't care about your content. They really just want to see you naked because these people stay at home and fap. Not to mention, they will never treat you right. They'll always objectify you. They'll always call you, demeaning names and stuff like that. And it's really disgusting. This is why I say the girls on Twitch have it a lot worse than the boys when it comes to trolling and bullying. Girls are tricked into being super sexual only to get abused by the fan base that creates them. And then when they reject the simps that are on their stuff, they get threats, rape threats, death threats, murder threats, and pretty much anything that is just misogynistic as possible. Pretty much they're tricked into doing nasty acts on camera just to get abused, just to have, just to get abused, threatened, bullied, trolled out of existence. So, for you girls out there, I would just focus on the game. And no offense, I know this is where it's going to get, I would learn to cover up, or at least wear a sweatshirt and stuff like that, because I'll tell you the truth right now, as much as I like TNA, I gotta be honest and tell it like it is. Your fan base don't appreciate you. Your fan bases don't like you. And I'm talking about these IRL type of streamers, these IRL female streamers. They're only there to treat you horribly so they get beat off, and that's the truth. And I'm telling you, the Twitch fan base itself is toxic, edgy edgelords that only do this because they want to vent their frustrations on people because they feel bad about themselves and nothing more. And it's worse with the girls because they feel like the girls cannot fight back. They feel like girls are too weak to fight back, and that's why they do it. It's really disgusting and sickening. So the other reason why there's a dark side of Twitch is to legitimate girl gamers. The legitimate girl gamers, they're going to expect you to be like the e-girls, and once you're not, they'll stop following you. Which, at that case, do not worry about the follower count. Worry about the quality of followers. It's best to have at least 4 legitimate followers that are good to you than 1,000 that are bad to you. Because you already come from a bad day at work. You already come from a stressful day at work, and you don't want none of that stress. So pretty much, this is just me telling you to warn you. Beware of the dark side of Twitch, because there is a dark side of streaming, and may the crystal be with you. Beware when you stream.